seconds away on this Studio 5 special. Exclusive interviews and your all-access backstage pass with the cast of Marvel's much-anticipated Black Panther. Welcome to this Studio 5 special. We're getting to all things Wakanda and Black Panther in just a moment. But first, let's begin this week's countdown of the 5 big headlines in the world of uplifting entertainment news. Here are your first 2. At number 5.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine?
Fred Rogers' life heads to the big screen in You Are My Friend, and actor Tom Hanks will play Mr. Rogers.
Did you ever wonder how crayons were made? I've often thought about people making crayons.
The film is based on the friendship between the iconic children's television host and a journalist, Tom Janad, who was assigned to write about him for Esquire magazine in 1998.
And then people take those boxes to the stores where other people come to buy them.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood aired from 1968 to 2001.
Won't you please won't you be my neighbor?
At number 4.
17-year-old Chloe Kim delivered at her first Olympics. Winning the gold medal in the women's snowboard halfpipe, Kim set the bar extremely high on her first run.
The Winter Games are underway and a number of vocal Christian athletes are competing. Snowboarder Kelly Clark has tweeted, "Lover of coffee, God, and good times." Champion bobsledder Elena Myers-Taylor says she sees herself as representing not just herself or her country, but also Christ and, quote, what he's done through me. Her husband, also a professional bobsledder, Nick Taylor, is also competing. Nick came to faith in 2005, surviving 3 separate car accidents. David Wise made history in 2014 as the first ever Olympic champion in men's skiing halfpipe, and he calls himself a, quote, truth follower whose faith plays a huge role in his confidence. And American short track speed skater Mami Biney shares on Instagram, "Smile on my face doesn't mean my life is perfect. It means I appreciate what I have and what God has blessed me with." Those are just the first 2 headlines in this week's countdown, and that brings us to the focus of this week's Studio 5 special. The first black superhero in mainstream American comic books is Marvel's The Black Panther, and he is all the buzz with the long-awaited movie hitting theaters this week. This magazine boasts The Black Panther Strikes. And take a look at the cover of Time magazine, which has the film star Chadwick Boseman and the headline, "A Hero Rises." And then there's Esquire magazine, which simply calls him T'Challa. Here's Wired with Chadwick, and it explores the metal that will change the world, vibranium. And finally, this one, CNET dives into why Chadwick is ready to rule. I sat down with the star and other members of the cast to bring you this Studio 5 first look at Black Panther.
Shuri!
Brother!
Turn on the train on the bottom track.
The stabilizers won't deactivate your suit. You won't have protection.
Neither will he.
Okay.
This film is special on so many levels. Do you feel that going in?
Yes. No, I knew just in the novelty of it, you know, the fact that it is the first black superhero movie on this platform. You know, I knew that there was something there, but I also knew that the world of Wakanda, the fact that it nods to what you know, ancient civilization, African empires, you can pull from many different places. And instead of generalizing things, to be specific and say, I'm going to pull from this great thing from this country, and this great thing from this leader, and this great thing from this warrior tribe. It's like you can pull from all the best things. So I knew that was special. And I think once, that's without anything having been created. So I knew that's what had been set up by the writers, the various writers. Even the white writers somehow set that up. And so I also knew that once Ryan came on and he had that mindset, that same mindset, and he also had new things that he wanted to bring into the world that would justify how this was possible, because you have to justify how is it possible for Wakanda to exist and people not know it. His ideas were amazing.
I knew something was going to be special about this movie. I knew, first of all, it's subject matter of like bringing a African superhero to life, but I think really importantly, the fact that Ryan Coogler was going to be directing the film. I knew that from his vision of the world that something special was going to happen.
And I knew it was going to be special also, just showing up on the set and seeing the amazing, group that had been, brought together from across the diaspora, across the world, in front and behind the camera. That just felt incredibly unique. Just artists who were working at the highest caliber and of their talent and their abilities and potential. So it had all the potential in the world to do what we expected it will do, and that's break all box office and bust down all stereotypes and ideas of what you think, or whatever it is you have always that's been thought.
I was initially excited to share the Black Panther character with my son, so he's excited about seeing it. But having seen your performance and the women's performance, I'm actually now more excited to share the film with my 10-year-old daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
What do you think of just the power of women in this film, from yourself to...
It's astounding, the way that women and the feminine is portrayed in this movie, a movie that's entitled Black Panther. So we expect the brother to show up and show up, but the women who are there to support him, to lead him, to advise him, to counsel him, that he listens to, that he needs he needs that input, It's amazing. And my daughter, like yours, is young, between 12 years old, and she was just to see, we can look at our children, we see when they're, a little shy or a little intimidated or something, but that evening to see her rise up and feel something glorious and strong and powerful within her being, it was evident. And it was beautiful, and that's what you want to see. That's what you long to see. That's what is available in your children's lives.
Are there any women heroes in your life that you modeled Nakia after?
That's a really good question. I have an aunt. Her name is Subira, and her spirit reminded me of Nakia. Yeah, she's a very quiet, very deliberate woman. And that's, I think, what Nakia is. So Nakia has a power that she wields, but she wields it in secret most of the time because she's an undercover spy. And I think that's my Auntie Subira.
Daniel, last year we were talking about your performance in Get Out.
You got your toothbrush?
Check.
Do you have your deodorant?
Check.
Do you have your cozy clothes?
Got that.
What?
Do they know I'm black?
Should they?
You might wanna,
Mom and Dad, my black boyfriend will be coming up this weekend.
And now we sit talking about you being a part of one of the most anticipated films of a long time. Are you living an acting dream at this point?
Allegedly. I feel like, I kind of feel like it just feels like stuff I have to do, and I just, man, I'm blessed, man. Like that's just real. Like, to be doing this job is a blessed situation. To be doing this job with the people I'm doing it is a blessed situation. To be doing this job on stuff that I believe in, for it to be being given a big platform, because some films get buried. It's to do with the timing more than me. So I I'm just the vessel for that. I'm just kind of keeping forward.
And it is only fitting that Black Panther hits American theaters in the middle of Black History Month. You can see it Friday, February 16th. Still ahead on this Studio 5 Black Panther special.
Hey, look at your suit. You've been taking bullets, charging it up with kinetic energy.
Meet the breakout star and see why working alongside Angela Bassett is a dream come true. And welcome back to this Studio 5 Black Panther special. The countdown of the best headlines in uplifting entertainment news continues now. At number 3, and in case you missed it.
About 5 years ago, I lost my wife to a brain aneurysm.
Former NFL player Tommy Harris delivers a brave, honest, and inspirational message at this year's Super Bowl gospel event.
And as I was sitting there in the audience, I was only married for 30 days at that moment. And I didn't know 11 days later I would lose my wife. So my job is to go and tell everyone that is living to make life count. Make it count. When was the last time you took a big, deep breath? As I pulled my wife's monitor off and she took her last one, right now, take a deep one. Let it out. As long as you have that in your body, you got the Brady effect. That at any moment, I got time on the clock, I can come back at any moment. I know things happen in my life, but I can make a change at any moment. So I came here today to tell you, to encourage all of you that's going through a difficult time, that trouble don't last always. That I've never seen a cloud sit over one person's house for a long time. This too shall pass. It has to.
At number 2, and probably no surprise.
A lot of anticipation for Marvel's Black Panther, which will explode into theaters this week. And while it's a superhero movie, it's also one that deals with real-world problems, including race and slavery. That's something director Ryan Coogler says was very important to him.
We wanted the moral questions of Wakanda to be ones that aren't as easy as black and white, and ones that are relevant to today.
Wakanda being the fictional African nation where Black Panther takes place, which you'll see more of when it hits theaters Thursday night.
And that leaves only one more headline in this week's countdown and brings us back to the focus of this week's show. Vanity Fair hails actress Letitia Wright as a Black Panther breakout, and I would agree. Her performance is unforgettable. Take a look as we sit down with Letitia for this week's Studio 5 interview.
Remote driving system activated.
Wait, which side of the road is it?
For God's sake, just drive.
Okay, calm down. Woo! Let's go! Hey, look at your suit. You've been taking bullets, charging it up with kinetic energy.
Put around the truck.
Where'd he go? Show off.
Did I hear correctly that you were inspired to act by seeing the film Aquila and
Yes,
the Bee? So that
yes,
is true.
That is true.
Can you spell it for me?
G-A-B-R-O. Cabro?
Actually, it's got 2 B's. Aquila, you ain't short on people who want to help you. I bet you just look around, you got 50,000 coaches. Starting with me.
So this is a full circle moment because now you're Angela Bassett's daughter.
Yes, it is a full circle moment. Yes, it is a full circle moment. That film really inspired me. It really made me want to become an actor because I saw someone that looked like me that wanted to do something positive. So I wanted to. That was what I wanted to put out in the world. So now playing this character and also having my mother be Angela Bassett is kind of surreal, you know?
You are amazing in the film.
Thank you.
I hear many people singing your praises already. So you on purpose took this wanting to be an inspiration to young girls.
Yeah, it's something that I was pretty much praying about since I was a kid, you know. I just want to do something meaningful in the world. I want to contribute positively, so that means
the roles that I get to play as well. It doesn't necessarily mean that the characters are always flawless and perfect. No. There's no perfect human being. But just for, like this one in particular, I know it's gonna release a lot of positive energy. So that's the type of work I would love to do. And I don't mind playing a villain, or you know, I don't mind doing that. But just to have something in my career where it's like a pinnacle moment of inspiration, I feel like this does it really well.
For people who have not seen the film yet, describe Shuri. She is, I mean, just brilliant.
Yeah, she's just a teenager, you know. She's just a normal kitty who just happens to be a princess, but loves technology, loves her nation, loves her brother, loves her family, and just trying to do something positive. She's very outspoken. She will say it out because she's been given that freedom all of her life. As a kid, she's never been restricted to rules and like don't say this and don't say that. She knows to be respectful, but she knows to speak her mind too. And that's something in Wakanda you'll see. Everybody's willing to speak their mind and say it how it is. So yeah.
How scientifically inclined are you?
I am not scientifically inclined at all. I loved science when I was growing up, but that wasn't my calling. Science wasn't my calling. My calling was to just be an actor and other things as well along that line of entertainment. But no, Shuri's teaching me a lot. Learning about what Shuri's saying in the script opened my mind up to a lot more that's happening in the world about science and technology and maths and engineering. So yeah, all in all, no. But Shuri's teaching me as I listen to her more and become her a little bit more. She's teaching me a lot.
A little girl's prayers are answered, and answered beautifully. We have much more from Black Panther still to come. Ahead on this Studio 5 Black Panther Special Edition. Was this film self-identifying for you? We're on set with the director, Ryan Coogler. And welcome back to Studio 5. We have made it to the final headline in this week's countdown of the best headlines in uplifting entertainment news. At number 1, a Studio 5 exclusive. Gospel singer Nicole C. Mullins opens up about her relationship with fellow gospel singer and pastor Donnie McClurkin. He's single, you're single. Is there something happening you can share?
Well, yes, we are in a relationship. And you know what? He has really been a godsend. Donnie McClurkin is what I'm speaking of.
Yes.
Years ago, after I'd gone through a night season, and I had gotten to a point of, okay, Lord, I'm not really gushing with blood anymore over the wound of what happened. It's more of a scar, but I'm definitely not interested in being in another relationship. That was my mindset. I'm good. Me and Jesus were good. Like, till death do you part, you know what I'm saying? And then I found myself on a flight, sitting next to Donnie McClurkin for 9 hours. Both of us were going to the Ivory Coast, singing on the same, at the same concert. And we wind up having a great conversation, and my heart began to crack open. We've been on a journey ever since. The Lord is redeeming my life. And I believe He has a great purpose for us. But that's, you gotta hear it from Him, because I'm just saying. But in the meantime, we're on a journey. We're on a great journey, and my family loves Him. And yeah, okay, I love Him too. But anyway, but you didn't hear me say it. I'm just saying.
That wraps the week's countdown of the best in uplifting entertainment news. American filmmaker Ryan Coogler directs Black Panther. You may be surprised to learn it's only his third film. That makes him this week's Studio 5 one to watch. This is an unforgettable scene from Fruitvale Station, a Ryan Coogler directed film based on the true story of Oscar Grant, a 21-year-old from the Bay Area who lost his life to police in 2008. This is Ryan on the set of Black Panther. You brought us Fruitvale Station, a powerful story that needed to be told. This is a Marvel fictional story, but on so many levels, I feel like this story needed to be told. Did you feel?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think Yeah, man, Black Panther, you know, Black Panther should have been made probably 20 years ago, you know. It's the character is just that good, you know. You know, and you know, I love what Kevin and those guys are doing at Marvel Studios. And, you know, they're going through their whole catalog and they grabbing, you know, they grabbing everything that real fans know and love. But you know, real comic book fans will tell you, it's like, yo, man, where's T'Challa's movie? Because he's so interesting, you know. And the story is universal, but at the same time, like, incredibly unique. Just in terms of storytelling, but especially in terms of cinema, you know. So I just felt incredibly fortunate to be able to do it.
You did a phenomenal job.
Thank you, sir.
What did you feel going in? How did you feel tackling this?
I mean, you know, you feel overwhelmed and excited, and but frankly, I didn't feel worthy yet. You know, I feel like I still had work to do, still had research to do. So I tried to do as much as I could while I wrote. I wrote with Joe Robert Cole, who's incredibly knowledgeable and talented. You know, Marvel Studios has got just like a wealth of experience and passion for this kind of stuff, you know, and energy. And, you know, they never run out of energy over there, you know what I mean? So, you know, they definitely gonna keep pushing you to, you know what I mean? And so I had great collaborators, but I had to get right with myself. You know, I had to go to the continent, you know, for the first time and spend some time there. I went by myself, you know, and it opened up, you know, a lot of things, man, both for the film, a lot of things for the film, but even more so for like, I think, insight into myself, you know, and questions that I had about myself and my own identity.
So was this film self-identifying for you?
Absolutely, man. Like I mean, this film, yeah, I've made 3 movies now, and each one has given me something, you know, taught me something about myself and given me life lessons. But the amount of things that this film gave me, you know, just on a personal level, through the process of making it, you know, it doesn't compare.
If you haven't seen Coogler's other films, Fruitvale Station and Creed, they're available right now on several digital platforms. You'll notice a familiar face in them, Michael B. Jordan, who also has a great role in Black Panther opposite Chadwick Boseman. Still ahead on this Studio 5 special, cracking open the pages of a children's book to explore the power of Black Panther.
It can be difficult to find books with a brown and black protagonist.
Welcome back. We are almost out of time for this episode, so here's a look at what we're working on for you for next week.
It's hard to say when there's no food to eat.
Tamala Mann is famous for that sweet and powerful voice. It's earned her Grammy Gold. But the gospel recording artist also graces magazine covers for her longtime marriage to fellow singer and actor David Mann. And they're celebrating writing their first book, Us Against the World. You decide to write a book after 30 years of marriage. What is it that happened that inspired you to do it?
We would often get younger couples or even older couples say, well, how do you do this and what do you do this? Even couples in the industry. So we were like, you know, we got to start writing some of this stuff down. So we compiled books and notes and notebooks of notes. And we sit down and just say, look, we got to put this book together. So here we are, Us Against the World.
And that's just one story from next week's rundown. As for this show, I'm giving the final word to ABC News correspondent Lindsay Davis. She's recently written a children's book, and in my conversation with her, she talks about the need for windows and mirrors in children's stories. And with Black Panther being the first black comic superhero, it's only fitting we explore that just a little bit more.
Half of the children in this country are not white, and yet more than 90% of the protagonists in children's books are white. And so you do need, I found this essay that I found really interesting. Professor Bishop at Ohio State University wrote, and it's windows, mirrors, and sliding glass doors. And the concept is that every child's book, it's essential that they have a mirror so they can see a reflection of themselves in the book, a window so they can peer out and see a world that's otherwise unfamiliar to them. And when that window is effective, it can become a sliding glass door to transport them then into that world. So it's not just important for black and brown children to see themselves in books. It's important for children of all different colors, all different races, nationalities, to be able to see, especially as this world becomes a more colorful place and as we appear to, at times, become more divided, it's important for the idea of tolerance and inclusion for you to see diversity.
A mirror to see yourself and a window to see other worlds and other people. That is a great final word for this edition of Studio 5. Until next time, reach out and connect with Studio 5 on Facebook and Instagram, and reach out and touch me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Snapchat. And then you come on back and see where Studio 5 takes you next week. Bye-bye, everybody.